Chicken nuggets are always a favorite meal. This is a 4-to-1 ratio recipe, and you will be amazed at how similar they look to a commercial brand. The first thing I need is 17 grams of cooked chicken breast. I have just finely chopped this with a knife. To the chicken, we're going to add 2.5 grams of coconut flour and 1/2 gram of baking powder. This is also a good time to season the chicken nuggets. I'm just using salt and pepper. With your spatula, you want to stir the coconut flour and the seasonings into the chopped chicken. You want to evenly coat all the little pieces of chicken with the coconut flour. Now that I've evenly distributed all of the coconut flour, I'm going to add 20 grams of olive oil to the chicken mixture. Again, stir this around. The olive oil will actually help the coconut flour dissolve and get rid of any lumps that may have been remaining. After I've added the olive oil, I'm going to fold in some egg whites. These egg whites have been whipped into stiff peaks. I'm going to take half of them first and stir them in a little bit quickly. The egg whites are going to help hold all of this olive oil in this recipe, and they're also going to help make the chicken nuggets a little bit less dense. So I'm going to continue to fold the egg whites into the chicken and olive oil mixture until that most of the white pieces of the egg white are incorporated. But you do want to stir this carefully so that you try not to deflate the egg whites. This is about perfect right here. We're going to pan fry these chicken nuggets in a small 8-inch non-stick skillet. I'm going to turn the stove on to about a medium-low heat. I have 12 grams of European-style butter. European-style butter has a slightly higher fat content than regular butter and allows you to use a few grams less. Now that my pan has been heated and all of the butter has melted, I'm going to dollop the chicken and egg white and olive oil mixture into the hot pan. You want to make the dollops about typical chicken nugget size or bite size for the person that you're serving them to. This mixture is not like a stiff batter, it's more like a thick pancake consistency. Make sure that the edges aren't touching each other, and make sure that this bowl that you mixed the chicken mixture in is scraped completely clean. Let these cook on the first side until the edges of the chicken nuggets begin to firm up and brown. Depending on how hot your stove is, cook the first side for about 1 minute. It may take a little longer if your flame is lower. So these are ready to flip now, and you want to carefully lift them. I like to move them down into the butter so that the butter is coming up on the sides of the chicken nuggets and cooking the edges as well. I'm going to continue cooking these on the second side until it is evenly brown on both sides. A good indication of when the chicken nuggets are completely cooked through is when the bubbling begins to slow down. These are cooked completely through. You will see a lot of butter remaining in the pan, and that's okay. What you're going to do is you're going to turn the heat off of the stove, and you're going to allow the chicken nuggets to cool for a few minutes in the pan. While they're cooling, they're going to begin to soak up all of the remaining fat that is left in the pan. It is important to make sure that the chicken nuggets absorb all of the cooking butter that is left in the pan, because We have weighed out a very specific amount to make sure that this is a 4-to-1 ratio recipe. Now that they've absorbed most of the butter in the pan, I'm going to remove them to a plate. And I'm going to even make sure that I completely scrape this pan clean of any remaining butter. And I'll just drizzle it right on top of the chicken nuggets. This recipe happened to be calculated to include milk that we make by combining heavy cream and a little bit of water. This is a common way for younger children to get extra fat in their meal. And here we have chicken nuggets and milk. This is a great meal that looks familiar and is safe to send to school because it does not contain any nuts. I hope your kids enjoy it. For this and many more great recipes, please visit charliefoundation.org.